Yeah.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what you got in, I don't know.
Well, I don't understand how the grades work, to be honest with you.
What we can do.
Ooh, shoot.
How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah. Oh, did you get it?
No, you had said something, and I asked you about that day in your office, and you're like, no, I think I have everything. And
How are
I
you?
was like,
Good, how are you?
okay, because I didn't think I sent you that, so, all right.
There's worse places.
I-
Hey, man.
I still have the email. Yeah.
Ready for Thursday?
I think so.
Okay, I'll look at it, because I know, I still have the email, I never got rid of it, because I'm pretty sure I didn't give her this,
So
she's
he's
gonna
gonna
be
be
looking
there
for it
till
at some
Thursday.
point. Okay, I'll take a look.
Scott responded back to you. There was no
I guess
changes.
he's giving a tour tomorrow. That might run as well.
Any of that.
Yeah.
This one, guys, or-
Pages. I didn't get
With,
much. He responded to another.
Okay. Well, he responded back that there was no changes on the document. You're fine. I think he must have looked at it already.
And I didn't get, because he said.
He just sent it now. So, I mean, he thought, I'm sure he thought he responded to you, but there was another one.
There was
Yeah,
another
yeah.
industrial
You say
place
clean water,
that
not
he
clear water.
responded to me on, and it was the bridges.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Adrian
he did, I did have that.
I don't know
When
her.
he said he
Morning,
said,
Peter.
I'm like going
Good.
through all
Yeah.
that.
Great.
Just keep watering my lotion on my hands and I rubbed it out first. I'm like, you're crying.
You better be paying attention.
Yeah.
Who do we have on the line? Jason Yorks.
Right.
Okay, good morning. Good luck. Good morning, everyone. We ask you to please rise for opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear gracious and loving God, we thank you for this day and season of Advent. We reflect on the season of love and giving and praise you for your faithfulness. Lord, we pray this morning for the victims and families of the recent tornadoes in Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas. Father, we pray for restoration and recovery for those communities. For those that were lost, we pray for their families, that you provide them comfort and peace that only you can give. Father, as we draw near to the end of another year, let us reflect on our faults and make every effort to correct them. Let us praise you for our strengths and victories, and humbly praise you for those successes. Lord, let us be wise in our decisions, that we may be in accordance with your will. These things we humbly pray in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
convene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time and ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we'll have public comments on agenda items only at this time. Is there any online? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Commissioners, just want to make an update to this agenda for two items that were not previously posted. And that is item 9.17, which is now 9.5, is approve the telemental health services agreement, which will be presented to you as the first, or one of the first action items. And then secondly, we're going to move information items up in front of 2.0 for bid openings.
Okay.
So, information items. Seven point three, Commissioner Sarah.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I have the honor to introduce a gentleman that I've known in our community my whole life. And he does a tremendous amount of work, not only for baseball and youth sports, but just a great person that really cares about this community and some of its challenges. And one of them was during the opioid crisis and what was happening to some of our students in high school and even in elementary school. And he came to the commissioners, and Barry, forgive me, I don't recall when this took place, but it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago anyway. Eric Linhart was still the DA, and through Barry Rake's efforts and Eric Linhart's and the commissioners, we developed a little campaign. And right now, I'm going to introduce Barry Rake, and he's going to give us an update on that little program that we had. It wasn't a little program either. Come on up, Barry.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you. Chairman Scott, Vice Chair Tony, and Secretary Rick. Okay, it's my pleasure today to report to you that the anti-drug program that we did in started in 2017, Tony, okay, has the 15,000 water bottles that were presented to the youth of Lycoming County with a bookmark that had also helpful hints for the parents and how to discuss drugs with their children. The 15,000 had all drugs, water bottles had been distributed throughout Lycoming County. So I consider this to be my final report on the program, although I can tell you it was an honor and a pleasure, okay, to do that, okay, for the people of Lycoming County. So if I may, I'd like to just give a brief report, but before I do that, let me give you just a little background on how the program got started. There was a gentleman out in Ohio, okay, by the name of Charlie Niles, who was a Little League district administrator, who lost his son at age 52 by overdose. He went back into his home after the funeral and decided that he needed to do something in his own community in order to educate young people on how to say no to drugs. So Little League had this on their webpage, and I recognized it on their webpage and said, somebody should be doing something like this here in Lycoming County. Well, I looked myself in the mirror and said, well, Barry, you're somebody. So that's how we got started. I contacted Eric Linhart, West Branch, and of course the county commissioners and Tony. We sat down and had a discussion, decided it was a well worthwhile program to develop here in Lycoming County. So in 2017, we started the program. Let me give you a little background on how the program went. In 2017 and 18 and 19, the Too Smart to Start program, we distributed 9,700 reusable water bottles, okay, here in Lycoming County to the youth of Lycoming County, and also with the bookmark for the parents. In 2020, of course, COVID-19 hit. And of course, that allowed us not to do any going out to any youth organizations because they were just not available. However, the Community Arts Center, okay, played a part in the 2020. They contacted me and they wanted to know if they could have some water bottles to hand out to the youth when they distributed the gifts, okay, to the kids at Christmas time. So we did 800, okay, water bottles through that program, okay, in 2020. In 2021, I became aware that the students in the public school systems could not use the water fountains, okay, within the school districts, yes, at the younger age. So I contacted each one of the school districts throughout Lycoming County. In the year of 2021, we distributed 4,200 water bottles to all the school districts throughout Lycoming County. There was an additional 300 that was distributed to the Warrior Run School District, and that was done because one of the volunteers that I had requested, because she was involved in a program at the Warrior Run School. So, and that concluded all 15,000 of the water bottles that the county purchased through a grant program. There was no taxpayer money used, okay, for this program. The money was received from a grant program that the county commissioners received back in 2017. So I'm grateful for the county commissioners. I'm grateful for Judge Lenhart and for West Branch, okay, and allowing me to volunteer and play a very important role in the mission here in Lycoming County. It truly has been an honor to volunteer as the facilitator to distribute the water bottles and the bookmarks to the youth and the parents of Lycoming County in order to help educate everyone on being too smart to start. And I thank you very much, okay, for the opportunity to allow me to give the final report. I do have a copy of the final report for each one of the commissioners.
Thank you, Grant.
Okay. And also, I made a booklet, okay, that kind of gives you an overview as to what we've done, okay, since 2017, and you may keep this part of your records here in Lycoming County.
Great, thank you.
And that concludes my report, and thank you very much.
I want to thank you. I know that we had registration, before we did our registration online, we used to do it in person. You came to our registration, I think 2 nights, past Little League.
Right.
For towards Little League, you passed out the water bottles at the Little League registration, and we appreciate you. And our one opening day, you were there for the season, and you passed out the water bottles. Spent the whole day there passing out the water bottles for that opening day, because we have all kinds of ceremonies throughout the day. Spent the whole day there. We appreciated that. Being a youth sports myself, every kid has a water bottle, especially every athlete. They have their own individual water bottles. I saw many of these being used. It was a tremendous idea, and we thank you for bringing it to our county and the tremendous success we've had. And the awareness it does bring to our county is crucial. So
Thank you.
Thank you for the effort.
It's been an honor to do it, okay?
Yep.
And this was the bookmark.
That was the bookmark.
That was inside.
That's
We
correct.
figured, this is always nice as you read a
Yep.
book to have a bookmark. But I also want to emphasize that that's 15,000 bottles. I remember loading them up in one of our rooms. That's a lot of boxes, a lot of bottles. And it wasn't handed out at one time. Okay, there were small groups of, 25, 50, maybe a couple hundred. And, geez, I've never received any invoice from Barry on the gas that you spent to get to these events. And I'm going to say well over 100, if not more. I don't know how many, but a lot. And just the time that you spent in this program alone, meant a lot to these children, bringing awareness not only to the children but to the
Well,
parents.
if we can save a few kids from getting involved in drugs, all the time and effort is well worth it.
Absolutely. There you go.
Harry, you may not know, but do you know how old the young man was, the son of the man in Ohio?
Yeah, he was in his 70s, okay?
Oh.
He died in 2018.
But-
52, he said.
Oh, he was 52 when he died of the drug
No,
overdose.
his son.
His son, that's what I mean.
Son
How-
was 52.
How old was, the son was 52.
Yeah, the son was 52. The father's the one who went back
I'll be
after the
darned.
funeral and started the program, and he was in his 70s, okay, out in Ohio. Okay,
Yeah.
then he passed away in 2018, the father did.
Yeah, well, so there's a good point there, that the man, it was an adult who died of the drug overdose.
Correct.
And so giving the water bottles out with both the parents and the kids, we have both sides of the generation reading them.
Yeah, well, when we started the program between the county commissioners, West Branch, okay, the discussion was that the time to really get them educated is between the ages of 5 and 13. And that's why we zeroed in, okay, on the water bottles, okay, on that age bracket between 5 and 13. Because when they get into the teenage years, okay, if they are not educated on the possibility of saying no to drugs, okay, they have a much higher potential of getting involved in drugs at the teenage years.
Thanks very
The purpose
much,
was
Barry.
to start this program to help educate them, and hopefully we could save them from starting in drugs even in the teenage life.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
also
very
educating
much.
the parents, because there's a lot of parents, okay, don't really know how to talk to their children, okay, or don't know what to say, or don't know what they can go to. There was a webpage put on the bookmark, okay, that the parents could go to get information. So the total program, in my mind, was extremely helpful, not only to the youth, but also helpful to the parents.
Yeah. Too smart to start and never too young to talk to your kids, honestly. Talk to
Yeah.
them when they're 4 years old, 3 years old.
Yep.
Talk to them all the time and just explain. It's about choices and it's about, because really after the first or second or third time, it becomes an addiction. And then you're in a different
Right.
ballpark. It's really that first introduction to it, whether it comes from kids daring them to do it or whether it comes from just, oh, it won't hurt. There's too many tragedies we've read about. Thanks very much, Barry.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay?
sadly, a lot of the individuals end up getting hooked with prescription drugs
Yeah.
through injuries or they don't realize it, and the next thing you know, they can't get the prescription anymore, so then they turn to the opioids, the
The
heroin.
more we can educate people, the better off we're going to be.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Barry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
7.1 and 7.2, my opinion and Austin Dale.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
As we continue with the bridge bundling program, this is the next phase. So the first item I have is to acknowledge the county will be requesting bids for the construction of bridge bundling 2 and 3. And then along with that, we are also requesting proposals for construction inspection services for bridge bundling 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, getting back on track now, 2.0 bid openings. Controller Rogers.
Morning.
The first bid is for Timber Run Access Improvements. There were 4 bidders. HRI Incorporated West Region, $1,063,360. New Enterprise Stone and Lime Company, $1,029,012.50. Dave Gutierrez Excavating Incorporated, $965,879. And Glenn Hawbaker Incorporated, $829,995.
Controller, usually you give us a sheet. Do you know whether we have a sheet?
It gets emailed to your office?
Oh, okay. Maybe, because usually you give us a sheet that's got the,
I can forward these filled out sheets with the amounts to you.
that would be great.
Yep,
because-
no problem.
Because I don't think we got the
We didn't
jobs
get this
down.
time.
I'll send them to your email.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
And I apologize, I missed 1.6. Are you?
Do you want me to finish the bid?
Yep.
Okay.
After you're done, we'll see.
Okay. The other bid is Trash and Recyclable Collection. We only had one bidder, Fred Ham Incorporated, and there wasn't a price listed on the bid response.
There's so many multiple. and
That's what I
becomes a
thought.
problem. Yeah, so we have different site areas, obviously, and then tonnage and, stuff associated with that, so.
It'll be reviewed.
It'll be reviewed per facility.
Okay. You're welcome. On item 1.6, with pending litigation, I don't think we should talk about my office.
Okay, agreed.
Okay.
That's fine, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 3.0, accounts payable cash requirement. Brandon Clemens.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to present the accounts payable cash requirements report for invoices due through December 22nd to be paid on December 15th. We had one last minute addition before I came down. We have to reissue one poll worker check for $215.12, which brings the total this week to $1,062,828.53. Of which approximately 36.5% is county general, 50% are grants and other sources, 13% is RMS, and a very tiny portion is escrow funds.
Would you repeat that total?
Yep, $1,062,828.53.
That was a poll.
Yeah, we have to void and reissue it to her, and I asked them to do it this week rather than next, so she can get it.
So she can pay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, any questions?
No.
A motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that motion.
All fair side?
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
4.0 Service Awards. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to present Steve Smith with his 10-year service and out at RMS during holiday luncheon. So we won't be doing that here.
We want to thank Steve publicly for his 10 years of service. It's not an easy job what he does. And we're going into detail about it, and it's all hard work over there, and we appreciate all his efforts. He really enjoys doing his job. He was smiling, telling us his duties, and he said, "I love it here." So that was good to hear. So we thank Steve and his entire work crew there with him.
Absolutely,
Good
John.
job,
Our
George.
congratulations and our thanks, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yeah.
5.0 TDA actions. Roxanne?
Good morning, Commissioners. At the pre-release center, we're looking for a change changing the female resident supervisor to pay grade 7-8 to a resident supervisor to pay grade 7-8, effective immediately.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Moving on to personnel actions.
Commissioner, in the courts, Helen Mastraco as a clerk 3 part-time replacement, pay grade 4, at $13.09 an hour, not to exceed 1,000 hours annually, and this would be effective December 20th, 2021. Also in the courts, Christine B. Swisher as scheduling technician, full-time replacement, pay grade 6, $16.76 an hour, effective December 27th, 2021. In the Sheriff's Office, Tammy Lynn Wenner as a Clerk 3 full-time replacement, pay grade 4, at $14.09 an hour, effective December 20th, 2021. At pre-release, Christopher Heisley as a resident supervisor, full-time replacement, pay grade 5 at $15.37 an hour, effective December 20th, 2021. And finally, in Information Services, Jason A. Clark, Senior Network Engineer. This is a reclassification due to fully qualified status. At pay grade 10, $58,327.50 annually, effective December 12th, 2021.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the four replacement positions and the extra classification position?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Board of Assessment revisions, 8.0. Brooke, eight.
At this time, we will recess the Commissioners' public meeting and convene the Board of Assessments meeting.
Is Brooke online? Or on the phone?
Brooke, are you there?
I'm sorry, I had you on mute.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm seeking approval for a refund for Larry and Connie Paul Hamus. Their house was destroyed by fire on August 9th, 2021. The refund amount is $132.27.
Okay, have a motion.
I'll move to approve the refund.
A second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Brooke. We'll adjourn the Board of
Thank you.
Assessments this time, or we convene the Commissioners' Public Meeting.
Okay, moving on to action items. 9.0 through 9.4 is Brandy Clemens. And we'll be requesting your approval on resolutions for adopting the budget, capital, 5-year capital plan, millage rate, and predetermined ratio.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to recommend final approval of the 2022 County General Operating Budget, which is a no-tax increase budget. This budget has been on public display for over 20 days and has been adjusted to reflect the following changes. No changes to our revenue and an expenditure increase of $2,498,164. 99% of that, or $481,850, is an expenditure increase due to 2021 capital and inventory purchases being deferred to 2022 due to project delays and product availability. I know there were some copiers that we've had on order for a number of months that we just have not received yet. 95% of the deferred projects are funded by bond proceeds or grants. The DA's salary was increased $11,454 to reflect the state-published increase approved for 2022. An additional cell phone stipend of $660 was added, as well as rent in the amount of $7,200 for the central processing center that is fully covered by their Act 81 fees that they collect. $15,000 was added for the West Branch Firemen's Association, which will be covered by Act 13, and a trial was decreased by $18,000 due to the defendant pleading guilty. These adjustments bring total expenditures for 2022 to $957,792. Boy, I keep messing that up today.
You've been reading those numbers so long, and you were up
Yeah.
early this morning, I know.
Yeah, I keep on yawning too. Even though it's chilly down here, I still feel like I could fall asleep.
I called Brandy very early in the morning to get some information, and she was at her desk preparing the budget for today.
Okay, comments?
When we deferred those expenses to the 2022 budget, that also decreases the expenditures of the 2021 budget.
Yep.
So we will see that reflection.
We'll see a large savings and most likely a surplus at the end of this year. We're only about 71% executed on our budget, and at this point in the year, we should be up around 90% executed. So there are a lot of goods we have on order. We just can't seem to get them. And I don't know how much this will carry over into the next year as well. So it's going to be tough the next year or so trying to come up with an exact figure for a budget with the supply chain, issues that are currently going on.
Commissioner expenditures right now are 70.68%. So the raises are way below what they normally are this time of year.
I want to give a copy to my colleagues. I think that as we take the big picture look at this budget, we should look at a perspective of the staffing, because one of the big drivers of the budget, and we need to separate, I think I have a copy there for the director too, Mr. Chair. We need to try to separate out the pressure that people have felt from us being able to fill positions since the pandemic started, with the difference between how many full-time staff we carry on the county budget. So to give you a perspective, in 2015 at the year end, we had 550 full-time people. We have been working to try to get in, and this is a result of all three commissioners in both boards, the last board and this board, working to try to get people to cross-train, and this is the department heads and the employees themselves ultimately get the credit for what they've been able to do. Cross-training and employees taking on more responsibility, and we still have had employees saying to us that, hey, we had one 4 months ago say to us, listen, don't fill my position when I leave because there isn't enough work. But I really don't want employees to get the wrong message here. This is not, the problem is that we haven't been able to fill positions due to the pandemic. But it's important for us to keep a perspective. So in 2015, we're at 552. We got down to a low in 2020 of 532. Now, just to compare that, in 2007, we had 500 full-time county employees. In 2011, we had 518, and in 2015, we jumped up to 552. Every 10 positions runs us about $1.2 million a year, which over 5 years amounts to about $6 million. But I really, again, I want to emphasize, because I don't want employees have been working really hard, and I don't want them to hear what I'm saying is, we need to cut positions. That's not what I'm saying. We need to fill those 30 positions that are unfilled due to the pandemic. We need to figure out ways to be more flexible when we hire people, to attract them to the county. I mean, we're working on that. The three of us are putting our heads together and trying to work on that. But I think it's important for us to keep that number in mind, not so much even this year. This year we're at 542, so we've inched up about 10 positions from the lowest. But looking out 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, what we don't want to do is get back into a situation where we're burning through a lot of cash by getting up to 552, 560 positions, because ultimately it catches up with us, you know. And we've been working, you know, the different things we've put into effect with different departments is to try to find ways to attract people to county government, because all the employees have worked incredibly hard. I know Brandy's department is down. Planning has gone through about 16 positions, 16 people, 18 people in the last 2 years. And I could go on and on. All of the employees deserve credit. The 2.5% raise that is being given in this budget cost the county about, what, $618,000? Is that what it is, Brandy?
Yeah, roughly. It's between 6 and 6 1/4.
Yeah, 6 1/4. And were you able to figure out how much we budget for employees' health care and elected officials and all that?
I sent that to you. Let's see, I think I did print that out. Hang on.
That email.
There was a total, and this includes retirees' health care, prescriptions, our claims, our admin, and the clinic admin and operation, less the employee reimbursement, was roughly $14.6 million. And then in addition to that, just in the year 2022, this will be a one-time expense, is the build out and the equipment to get the clinic up and running. That's an additional $1.45 million, bringing the grand total to 16.1.
Right, and the latter one is this year only.
It'll be just that 1 year for the build
Our goal
out.
with that health center is to get the 14.6 million down.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to comment, I think, and I say that more for all of us as people who are looking at these full-time positions.
So just in case, you know, people are doing the math, and remember that your numbers reflect the TDA full-time employees, not necessarily a snapshot of what we have right now.
Absolutely. Like right now, we don't have five. We're down 30 positions.
So when you do the simple math, you know, you're looking at a benefit cost of $29,000 per employee, if you wanted to look at it that way. That also includes the retirees, of which there are, what, how many now? 300 and some retirees, maybe 400 on,
Closer to 400.
right. And that is an obligation that we must fulfill. But back in 2014, we eliminated that obligation to future employees. This is something that was unsustainable, and we took action back then. I'm not saying that it's not a nice benefit to have, but it was something that just, as you can see, each year that would go up, and the commissioners are making the necessary adjustments to, curb that expense. And I'm quite confident that this, I won't say clinic health center, will do exactly that.
Yeah, and my comment on the personnel, because I don't want employees to read it wrong. You make a good point, Commissioner, which is that we don't. In prior years, we actually probably had fewer vacancies the way we have now.
Right.
We're
Correct.
sort of at the peak of vacancies. But I say it really more for future generations of commissioners, because that sort of is something to keep an eye on. The other thing that I would encourage the public to do is to go to the website and look at the penny that's on the website. And you can imagine it's $1. If it's too hard to wrap your mind around it as a penny, what's 1% of a penny, right? But if you look at that on the website, you'll see a breakdown of where the money goes. 11% to general government, which is, the maintenance, budget, and finance, and so forth. And the highest ones are like 18% for the prison. That's APO, JPO, communications, emergency services. 14% at the RMS. 14% at children and youth and veterans, right, for our human services. And then capital assets, we have about 9% of that general fund or going into capital assets for the county, not counting the landfill.
Yeah.
I think what's notable is that the two, and this is sort of where I'll end with my comments, and I think that there's still time for my colleagues to reconsider. Only 1% of the entire budget goes to what's called culture and recreation. And culture and recreation it's 1% of the entire budget. It includes recreational grants, Marcellus Legacy Fund, the money we give the Community Arts Center, the money that would go to the golf course if we gave it to the golf course in any particular year, the Historic Society, the Riverwalk, and the library funding. 1%. And there's one other comment I want to bring to the attention of my colleagues. So that's where I think that the additional $63,000 that the library system has requested is not, when you think about it, you're talking about that whole category I read being 1% of the budget. The $63,000 is obviously a small subset of that. And then one other issue that I think we really have to resolve soon is that the golf course isn't even on the budget. I asked Brandy this morning where it is. Well, it's not listed on the budget because, and I don't want to say technically, because it is listed as part of the authority and it falls under the audit the authority filed, but I've been told by at least one of the board members that the authority voted to dissolve itself. We know that we've been working on the issue of the liquor license, but we really need to get those numbers out there so that we don't present the public with a budget that doesn't include something that, regardless of whether we put money into it this year or not, is an asset of the county and therefore should be acknowledged as an asset, and also is a potential draw and benefit and draw on county resources. It's both a benefit. I think we do ourselves a disservice in all the work we've done to fight to keep the golf course alive. We do a disservice by not having it there on the display as part of the budget. And so for constituents who if someone were to look, you can get those finances. They are county finances in the sense that they're, although they're, I guess Brandy's telling me no, because there's an authority.
They're a component unit of the county,
Yes.
and because of the amount of involvement and the lack of board members and the role that the county plays, they are what we call a blended component unit. So they do have their own financials and their own audit, which they issue as the Lycoming County Recreation Authority. but then we blend it in with our own proprietary fund, because that's what it would be should the rec authority dissolve. It would become like RMS. It would become a proprietary fund that operates as a business. And so we do blend their numbers in with RMS in our financials, where the rest of the component units, like Lycoming County Water and Sewer Authority, the Industrial Development Authority, they stand in a standalone column to the right on our financials.
Is the golf course blended in this year in this budget?
Not in the
Not-
budget,
not in the
but
budget.
in our actual financials, in our
Right.
act for our annual financial report, it is blended in.
Right, for the financial report, right?
Yes.
No, that's what I understood but I do think that we should get taken care of and get it so that it's part of the budget, so that because even though this year we may not have had to put money in it, in fact, the good news is we're gonna get some money back, or we got some money back, I think, last week, 25,000.
Yeah.
Right, it's something that we really need to put to the top, because for how many years now has it not been part of the budget?
It's never been part of our budget because it's a standalone
Yeah.
component unit, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, that is what my perspective on this budget and where we are and where we're headed, and how we can just make sure we keep an eye on it. One of the things, Brandy, I was going to ask you to do at some point when I'm sure you don't have much time these days, is to see what the rate of the structural deficit always arises when the rate of increase of your expenses exceeds the rate of increase of your revenue. And that gives rise to the structural deficit. That's why I'm so focused on the personnel, because they are the biggest driver of cost for the county. They are the ones that are going, that number is the one that's going to be driving any structural deficit. And our goal is to make sure we don't slip back into a structural deficit, because that's where we end up having to raise taxes. So, food to chew on, thoughts to chew on.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate your comments. I agree with regarding the employees. We have made sure that we stay very attentive to that. The positions we added, for instance, we had added one position last year,
Right.
which was for the coroner, who is incredibly overworked these days. And we added only that position to the county. That was the only one we added. They had not had a position added in 10 years. So that was, and we also added several positions to maintenance, the facilities management, because we understood that if we put the bids for jobs out, we were going to pay for prevailing wage. It was cheaper to hire the employees to do that work in the future. So those are some of the things that we're doing that were out of necessity or out of being cost effective. So I agree with you on that. We'll continue to watch those numbers. One thing I do want to address is our fund balance is very healthy.
Yes.
Going into next year, it's $32,432,738. So we have a very healthy fund balance, which is good to hear.
What was that again? Could you read that again?
$32,432,738. That's our fund balance going into next year, which I believe is our highest fund balance that I've heard for years.
Yeah, that's all the savings we're going to see this year is going to drive that, and that's our best guess of where we're going to be next year.
So we want to make sure that we don't spend that money foolishly. We want to spend it wisely. A lot of that will go into the capital projects that are driving the expenditures in the 2022 budget. If we weren't doing those capital projects, our expenditures would be much lower. We'd possibly be maybe even at a balanced budget. So that's what's driving the costs, is our capital expenses. So.
I'll use this platform here to say that some of the issues that counties face currently are not being able to find enough people to want to work. It's just the bottom line. And it's due to the policies that are set in place right now. I can't tell you you know, when they talk about the unemployment rate being so low, it's because they've taken all those people, 10 million people, off the unemployment. And they've given them the opportunity to collect money without working. And then they come up with these bogus ideas that, okay, well, you've got to apply to have a job, okay? And they apply, and that's all. They don't even show up for an interview so that they can get their child tax credits, so that they can get extra money. These policies need to stop. Our staff is stressed. We have people working 7 o'clock at night. They're working in the weekends. And look at the prison right now with our COs. We cannot find employees due to these policies. Things aren't rosy. They are just, you know, it's false what's happening in our economy right now. And we need to change those policies. And another thing that affects county government as far as its cost is the prevailing wage in the Davis-Bacon. Okay, those rates have not changed. $25,000. You can't build a garage for $25,000 today, right? And yet, it kicks in at $25,000. Those actual numbers should be around $120,000. And we do a lot of jobs under that would save county taxpayers a tremendous amount of money. We need our legislators to take action. Get off your butt and take action, or those costs will continue to escalate. Yeah. Thanks for the information too, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So go back to 9.1.
Yes. You want a motion?
Yes, a motion.
I'll move to approve the 22 budget as publicly displayed and hereby adopted.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
9.2.
Resolution 2021-17, the 5-year capital plan. I'd like to recommend final approval of the Lycoming County 5-year capital plan. The 5-year capital plan is a list of capital requirements that may be undertaken within the next 5 years. The Board of Commissioners and Office of Budget and Finance considers the feasibility of all proposed capital projects, evaluating their necessity, priority, cost, and method of financing, including the availability of federal and state funding. Upon completion and adoption, the 5-year capital plan becomes a guiding framework for project planning.
Okay. Have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any comments?
No, I mean, I'll just echo what Commissioner Metzger said. You know, the Facilities Department under the leadership of Mr. Ken George has done a fantastic job of saving taxpayers money by doing so many projects in-house. Most recently, the beautiful building for Magistrate Solomon, and just the other things that the public doesn't even see, like replacing the HVAC system in some of these buildings, working with outside contractors to get that all done. And it's a good thing to be able to have that and do it in-house.
So when we do add a position, it's out of necessity or out of cost savings. And that's what we want the public to.
Yeah, and I don't want the public to think we're willy-nilly adding positions. What happens is it's like everything, it's a creep.
Yeah.
It creeps up on you. In fact, when I looked at that this morning, I was shocked because I didn't think we were at 542 yet. I thought we were maybe at 537, so I'm kind of interested to see where all 10 are, because I remember the coroner, we needed the coroner, and I remember the maintenance facility, so we'll have to see where the others are. But
I think there were a couple at RMS.
oh, purchasing, right, purchasing, and oh yeah, that's a good point. We
To
added
move all
some
that
positions
dirt.
at RMS. Those positions are fully covered by RMS revenues,
Yeah.
in and out. But it enables us, thank you, Brandy, that
Yeah.
enables us to do certain things at RMS that, again, if we had to contract out, whether it's moving dirt, in fact, I think one of them was moving dirt, right? Because we needed to move hundreds of thousands cubic yards of dirt to be able to sell the land, so. But we're on target there.
I think you also have to understand that, you know, during the pandemic, the federal government has, you know, created programs that's going to bring a tremendous amount of money into states and, you know, local governments. If you take a look at our planning department, you take a look at what they do for Lycoming County overall, they have one huge responsibility. And with all these funds that are coming, we're hiring consultants, you know, and they may take 10% of the pot. And so we're evaluating, is it better off for us to put on a couple additional people in the county that can assume some of those roles and save some of that money? You know, listen, it's whenever you have the opportunity to improve the quality of life or some of the parts of government, especially county government, take advantage of it. It's there. If we lose the opportunity, then we lose out. And I'm not arguing one way or the other.
No, you're right. I mean, we've talked about the fact, the good point that was made is that one of the positions was in purchasing and procurement, to be able to make sure that when all this federal money is coming in, which is what you're saying, Commissioner Becerra, and that also we leverage, we may need to hire a couple of people to monitor, to utilize the 22 million and to use it in a way that brings additional money into the county. You can't use it as a match, but we have other ways to match that money with Act 13. So, but the advantage of hiring someone, just for the public to understand, is that kind of skill training and institutional knowledge stays with the county for a longer duration than just hiring a consultant. If you hire a consultant, they go out and they do certain things, and then they're gone, you pay them. And for some things that's good, but for things like bringing grants into the county, in some ways it's helpful to us.
And that's a large part of our budget is, our tax base is only about $38 million. And, you know, due to the dedication of our employees, they're the ones that are able to find those monies and allocate them from the state, federal government to be able to satisfy our, satisfy our budget.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'd really be in the hole. So we do have to get our staff back up to, we do have many positions, or many departments that are vastly understaffed, putting tremendous stress on employees, trying to get jobs done. And it's been very difficult for them. And I agree completely, Commissioner Massaro, with your comments. There's too many things out there that are keeping people home, not giving them incentives to work. And that's being not just stressful on county government. I mean, Lancaster County is down 70% of their employees. Clinton County Prison went through 172 employees in 1 year. You know, that's just, you can't maintain staffing when that goes on, and it's not effective. But it's not just in county government, it's everywhere. I mean, private employers are experiencing this. And it's very frustrating, and it's hard to run a business that way, and it has to be changed. It's stressful on every person working, trying to do 2 or 3 jobs, and they're only one person.
Randy, explain to the public the relationship between the fund balance of $32,432,000 and the ARP funds that we received so far, which we've received $11 million.
Yep, so the fund balance, when we talk about it, we talk only about the general fund. That's the fund that is driven by tax dollars. That's what applies to taxpayers. That's what tells them, oh, are we going to need tax increases? Our fund balance getting too low? We also have what we call special revenue funds, which is where the American Rescue Plan Act funds fall into that category. They are funds that come in and they are restricted for a specific purpose, and it could be a wide range of purposes, but we're limited in how we can spend them. We can't use them to just willy-nilly cover salaries or the cost of the courts. And those funds have their own individual fund balance. So the $11 million we received, we haven't spent much, if any of it yet, is sitting there in the fund balance in the COVID-19 grants fund, waiting for us to decide on the projects we're going to spend it on.
That's not in the overall fund balance.
Right.
No.
That's the point I wanted to make to the public.
Yes.
I didn't want the public to think, oh yeah, these guys got a $32 million fund balance because they got $11 million in ARP funds.
No.
It's not. It's separate. And here's the other thing: when you look on the budget on the website, if you're looking for American Rescue Plan, you're not going to see it because it's under the COVID fund.
Yeah.
It's referenced under the COVID fund, so.
Yes.
So if you're trying to figure out where that is, that's where it is, because it's all part of that.
Yeah, and we only projected, I think, spending like $1 million because we're still sussing out, what projects, we want to do. So those funds will be earning, interest and growing for us until we commit to projects and begin to spend them down. And any county projects that we decide to use those funds on will come over to the county as a reimbursement and offset the expenses on the county side, adding to their fund balance, so.
Speaking of interest, Mr. McDermott, maybe you can tell us 3+1, the plan that we implemented during the last Board of Commissioners. We've been able to make some money on that.
Yes, Commissioner, we've made approximately $7 million additional interest income since we partnered with 3+1. Obviously, today's market's a little bit different when we talk about interest rates, but we're still doing very well on how we leverage the cash available and how we invest it, whether it be in CD or in the what's the cash account? Sweep account.
Oh, the sweep account, yeah, they have negotiated a better rate, like they work with our bank to get us, better interest rates on our money and setting up that sweep, which provides additional interest on just the money that's sitting in our bank waiting for checks to be
And those funds are in
cashed.
separate accounts too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We continuously outperform the national benchmarks when it comes to interest.
Yeah. That's where I say, each Board of Commissioners sort of stands on the shoulders or down on the ground with the former Board of Commissioners. That was, actually, I remember, I think Commissioner McKernan brought it back from the CCAP conference, along with you. You also had, Director, you had met with them. At first I was a little skeptical because they seemed like they make money, but they make money making money for us.
And
And
it took about 6 months to get everybody on board.
yeah, but it's been an important component. I mean, that's not a small amount of money. Think about
Our
that.
director really took that and ran with it.
Yeah,
And he got people on board with it, met with people, and I want to give him a kudos on that because it might have just sat.
yeah. Well, I'll give kudos to Commissioner McKernan
He
too
brought
for
it too.
bringing it back.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it really,
He brought it back.
yeah. But the point is that it's really something that each board works on.
Absolutely.
9.2.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve it.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
9.3.
Resolution 2021-18, the millage rate. As stated earlier, this is a no tax increase budget, so the tax millage rate for 2022 will remain at 6.50 mils.
This is the best news of all. Or taxes do not get raised this year. And that's what the public wants to hear. And that's what our goal is each year. And is to make sure we have a healthy county government. And we want to thank everybody who is taking part in the budget project and process. It starts back in July. And it's a lot of hours from each department and looking at cuts and ways they can save money. And the commissioners for the time they put into it, the fiscal department, every department in the county has a role in this. And when we say no tax increase, that's a win-win for everybody.
And hopefully we're setting up a future so that it can be something that goes on in the future after we're gone.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve Resolution 2021-18.
I'll second.
All fair say aye?
Aye.
9.4.
Resolution 2021-19, the predetermined ratio. The predetermined ratio for 2022 is recommended to remain at 100%.
Okay, motion.
I'll move to approve the predetermined ratio.
I'll second.
Just one note on this.
Yeah, I was going to say discussion.
It has the same resolution number as the millage. We may want to change it
Should
to
be-
19.
Should be 19.
Should be
Right.
19.
Thanks for the
yeah.
catch.
Oh, it's 19 on mine.
Yeah, so that's 19. I'll move to approve it with an amendment that we change it to 19.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you, Brandy.
Brandy, thank you for all your effort.
Yeah.
I know it's been
Yep.
difficult, you've been short people, and
We're getting it.
I know you
Everything takes just a hair longer.
And thank you again to everybody that is involved in this process.
absolutely. Thanks to all the employees who have been working very hard. It's not easy to work when you got 2 or 3 people
And the staff, yeah.
less in your department, and you're training new people, and then they're leaving, and you're training another new person, and then they're gone, and like the planning department or
Don't
something.
say it 18 times, it's giving me
Yeah,
bars.
say it.
I'm having a nightmare. PTSD.
That's the nightmare, you keep training and nobody comes. It's like,
Okay. 9.5?
Yeah, the new 9.5 is going to be Chris Ebner, vote to approve the telemental health services agreement.
Mr. Ebner, how are you?
Good, good, thank you, Commissioner.
Give us an update?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. This has all come about because our long tenured prison psychiatrist is planning on retiring at the end of the month. We've had notice, and this has been a collaboration that we've been working on for several months. Prison as well as MHID with Director Wagner. We've been working in concert on this, and basically this is to enter into a contract with a company called Array to do telepsych services for the mental health population in the prison. This is kind of uncharted grounds. There's been a lot of belief that this would best be served face to face, given this type of work. But we have contacted local county prisons in the area that are doing this, that are happy with the results. The ultimate, one of the great benefits is we will be up to 6 hours a week of psychiatric services, plus all the other supports that we have in place. So this is just kind of like the beginning, even though we're in months, because there's a lot of unknowns until we start the process. But I think overall it'll be beneficial extremely to the inmate population to increase the psychiatric services to the prison. I also would like to, I definitely want to thank Maya for helping us, because this is, coming up till we got the I's dotted and T's crossed, and thanks, Director, for your help, as well as Commissioners. I believe we've had some discussion on this as recent as last week, so thank you.
On behalf of Commissioners in the prison, I want to thank Dr. Terry Calvert for her years of service. She was a tremendous asset to our county. Did a fantastic job. And we wish her well in retirement.
Yes, we would concur also.
yeah, I would like to extend what you're saying. I mean, she really has, I remember when I first came in as a commissioner, and I called her because I had concerns about some mental health issues that we had, and she's always very responsive, and I think has been very committed to serving the folks at the prison as well as her other patients. So we do wish her well in retirement. Mr. Ebner, I think it would be worthwhile for you just to quickly explain to the public sort of the ABCD and the percent in each category. And the ABCD is the classification of people at the prison through self-reporting, so when they come in. And the reason I think it would be important for you to share that is for people to understand how challenging it is for our correctional officers to both be prison guards and to be dealing with a large percent of the population that either has had mental health issues in the past or is currently, and then some who are very, very severely mentally ill. You don't have to spend a lot of time, but just some percentage numbers so they can see, because on a macro level, closing those state hospitals many decades ago and leaving the prisons and the jails and the county commissioners up with the issue of dealing with mental health for prisoners is a real challenge. So just maybe you could share those.
Yes, Commissioner, and thank you for that segue. Yes, we implemented approximately 3.5 years ago, a mental health roster. And basically that identifies, as Commissioner alluded to, it's self-reporting, although we're able to at times verify and follow up with this. But category A would be those individuals that have never had any contact with any type of mental health services or medications, and that percentage runs us anywhere from 46 to 49% of the overall population. Category B is those inmates that may have had some services in the past but are no longer on medications, but have at one point in their life encountered the mental health system and had some form of treatment. That population runs anywhere from 24 to 28% of the overall prison population. Category C is those that are currently on medications and currently have been enrolled in some type of counseling and services, and that number runs typically right around 30% a month at any one snapshot given. And then the fourth category is the severely mentally ill, SMIs as we call them. They will run anywhere from 2 to some months 5% given the month, and those are ones that are exhibiting numerous mental health indicators and are severely mentally ill. So at any one time, the population is usually over 30-some% that fall into the categories C and or D, and well over half the population have had some form of mental health contact in their past. And as we are seeing the trend, those commitments and those category Ds are unfortunately on the rise, and that is probably the pattern that will continue for the very foreseeable future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We have a motion to accept.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All fair say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay, 9.6, Matt Long, Training Trading Program.
Morning, Matt.
Morning. Good morning, Commissioners. So we're looking at trying to, for the Conservation District for quite a few years had implemented a nutrient credit trading program. Rod Moore, our bait technician, actually implemented that program. Program has now been phased out, and there's been funds that were set aside in case credits we were ever trading didn't come through, so we could purchase credits to cover any commitments we had. And we're looking to now take those funds, since we'll no longer be needed to cover any commitments, since the program's done, and try to leverage those to help with the countywide Clean Water Action Plan to move us in the right direction with that.
Any questions?
And the good thing is these funds are still gonna go towards the help the county constituents. For example, the no-till drill is gonna be purchased with them, and that's gonna help our farmers.
Yes.
So we'll be using these funds to help constituents.
Explain the no-till drill a little bit.
Rob would be a lot better at explaining that than myself.
No-till drill, piece of farm equipment that plants your grasses and soybeans, stuff like that, not corn. And like traditionally agriculture been moldboard plow where they turn the soil over. What the no-till does is it makes a real small cut in the soil, places the seed at a depth that you set. Then a wheel comes behind it, presses it. So instead of having your whole field get turned over and loose, you're able to maintain the cover, and you have a slit every 7.5 inches, basically is a little wider than a pencil line on a piece of paper. Keeps the soil in place, keeps it from eroding, keeps the nutrients in place, keeps them from washing off into the local water.
And what's the typical cost of the drill that we're trying to buy?
Be like
35,000.
Yeah, like 34 to 37,000, somewhere in that range,
So the
depending on what
point is-
options you get.
Our farmers don't have to go out and each one of them spend $35,000. We're going to be able to get this for them, and then they're going to be able to rent it, right?
Correct.
And they'll rent it for how much a day? 600 a day or something, or?
We have a 7-footer right now. We rent it out for $10 an acre.
$10 an acre, okay, I'm
So,
sorry, yeah, okay, so if you had 60 acres, right. Yeah, so it's really very important, and by the way, it helps our farmers, yeah, it helps them not have to invest in capital equipment that otherwise may sit there unused for quite a period of time. Let them know, by the way, that the reason it's taking a little longer than maybe they would like is because there are procedures that we have to follow in terms of putting out an RFP, et cetera, like that.
Yep.
And because it's over 20,000, we can't even do a bid. We can't just get call up and get three bids.
Yeah, anything over $20,100, we're required legally to put it out.
Put it out. So that's it. But we're going to do everything we can to get it for the spring season.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
One question. Was the Clean Water Action Plan mandated by the federal government?
It was optional
For us.
at the county level,
Optional at the county.
right? But if we didn't do it, DEP would have had to come up with a plan. And yes, it is driven by the Chesapeake Bay cleanup.
Okay. And I would ask that if you see any changes in the plans or how DEP, wants to promote this in the future, I'm all for clean water, okay? But if we see where there will be charges, additional charges and requirements of the Clean Water Action Plan or whatever they're going to be using to enforce this plan, please let us know. Because these from other parts of the country are very expensive. And I applaud you for doing what we need to do, but we also want to make sure we have a cost that we can handle. It's not going to be easy for residents, farmers, or anyone in the future. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the transfer of the funds.
Second.
Pass it.
All fair side?
9.7 through 9.10, Maya.
Good morning again, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The first item I have for you is to vote to approve the agreement with Geisinger Clinic on behalf of itself and its employees and Dr. Pat Bruno. This is a renewal agreement. This is for expert consultation needed for the District Attorney's Office, and it is a 2022 budget item.
Motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All fair side?
Aye.
So carried.
The next item I have is to vote on the proposal and sales agreement with Supply Source. This is in the amount of $102,338.73. This is furniture needed for MDJ Solomon's new location. He hasn't had furniture for a very long time, and also the current furniture that he has some will not fit in the new location and space.
Are we going to get, I think we're going to get reimbursed for some of this from the state or not? Am I wrong?
Well, I did a larger project for courts for court-related chair replacements that we got COVID monies from.
Yeah.
We have expended that in its entirely. We actually did some stuff over in the courthouse itself as well as other MDJs. This particular will not be funded unless I have to confirm with Adrian unless she's able to acquire some AOPC monies to accommodate. But this vendor is on state contract. And although it's not particularly budgeted for 2022, we do have funds available to assist with the purchase.
This is for all the magistrates, not just Solomon's office.
No, most of it is for, if you look at this quote, they did it in one quote because there is some built in for MDJ Solomon and then others. So
Yeah.
yes, it's one quote, so sorry. To verify, yes. Unfortunately, he can't separate it
That's
because
fine.
the way that they have to put it in.
Just want the public to know this is for 6 magistrates.
6, yes.
Not just one.
Yes, so half of it, yes, so half of those monies will be as part of what I did for PCCD, which is 100% reimbursable through COVID. Yes.
102,000 for one magistrate compared to 102,000.
Yes, sorry, I should, yes,
There's a big
sorry.
difference.
I forgot that they put it on here collectively, yes.
Okay.
I know, I was a little, because the building was
Yes.
250,000.
Yeah, sorry.
This is for 6 magistrates,
Right.
which breaks down, roughly to about 17,000 a magistrate.
Yes, because we have on here family court, like I said, that's part of the PCCD COVID. I apologize,
No, that's
totally
okay.
oversight. And then, some of the jury deliberation room
Yeah.
is on there.
Yeah.
MDJ is getting one, another one.
17,000 for each department, that's really, when you look at the cost of office these days,
Yeah.
that's not bad at all.
If
Well,
I
this
remember
must be
correctly, I think it
beyond
was 20,
The MDJ.
it was like 20,000, I think, for particularly for MDJ Solomon, if I'm
Yeah.
correct.
It's beyond MDJ's even, because jury deliberation room.
Well, yeah, it
It's
includes those.
it's really all the furniture for the courts.
Right.
Yeah, and just to
Okay.
clarify on that, for outside of MDJ Solomon, all of that purchase is 100% grant funded. That was being funded through the COVID PCCD monies. The reason for the change in the chair replacement project and furniture replacement project is mainly due because they had cloth seating. And when COVID first came out, it was said, you could get that and you had to clean it. And with the amount of people they have coming in daily for jury selection, it was decided that we do a change out of the chairs so that they were vinyl, so that they could be easily disinfected.
Yeah, the other issue is the bed bugs.
Well,
We know with
yeah.
cloth chairs.
Well, the next door with APO, we would have clients that would come in intoxicated, that would defecate, urinate in the seats because they were high or drunk, and the seats had to be taken out and
Ripped apart.
And then that happens in someone who's being arraigned because they're unfit for arraignment. They take it in front of the judge, and the same thing happens in magistrate offices.
Yeah.
So those chairs and equipment,
Yeah.
you run into the same things.
Plus the bed bugs.
And the bed bugs was another issue.
No question.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept?
Okay, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And sorry about that. The next item I have is to vote on Act 137 agreement with Sojourner Truth Ministries. This is an approved use of funds of Act 137. We brought that before the commissioners to discuss the proposed project, and we're seeking to allocate to them, I can't remember the amount that we actually were going to give to them, $21,330. And that will assist low to moderate income homeowners and with home repairs, code deficiency, and accessibility modifications. In this particular case, what they are doing is rehabilitating a residential duplex property located at 665 Center Street in Williamsport.
And we want to thank Sojourner Truth Ministries for their services they provide to the community. We like to have them when we do our outside agencies and step, we invite them to come and explain what they do for the county.
Yeah.
In the 2022 when we do that.
Yeah,
Nice to
they
invite them.
they have a new pastor there because Morris Smith passed away.
Yeah.
Well, he retired, I
Retired.
think. Yeah, and we want to welcome her, and also, they just celebrated, I think, their 20th or 20th anniversary, so we do thank them for helping the folks in the community.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
The next item I have for you is to approve the agreement with Oasis Management Systems Incorporated. This vendor provides and supplies commissary services to the inmates at the prison and pre-release center. This will extend their contract into 2026, specifically September 20th, 2026.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you, Commissioners.
Nine point 11,
That is not your agenda.
No, I'm not. Look close enough.
Good morning, Commissioners. Here to request your approval regarding our email security and filtering service renewal at a cost of $15,146.25. This is a CoStar's purchase, and it is a budgeted item.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
9.12, Steve Sams, you on the line?
Director, this is Jason York.
Hi, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioners, for your approval, 9.12, it's an agreement with Susquehanna Motor Company, which we just call the Mac Garage here, just down Route 15 from us here at the landfill. We had a 5-year contract, professional service agreement with Mac. It's a as-needed basis, as we would need repairs or inspections or anything to get us fixed. This was a 5-year contract that they gave us no increases in. We now are entering into a 3-year, we're seeking your approval to enter into a 3-year contract, and there is labor rates increases. We don't have anything, one set item we take there. It's just, if something, we either can't get an inspection done on time, or we get behind, or we have a breakdown. A lot of times Susquehanna Motors comes to our aid.
A motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Thank you, Jason.
9.13, Billy Cleese, additional funds for DEP camp.
Good morning, Billy.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Billy Cleese. I'm replacing Eve Adrian as the Natural
Yeah,
Resource Planner.
welcome.
Thank you. So this morning I'm here to seek your approval for additional funds for the capital limitation grant. These funds are for BMP verification. The money will basically be given to the Conservation District for going out in the field and verifying best management practices that were implemented years ago that may or may not still be in existence today. So these are funds that DEP came to us at a later date after we had applied originally, that you guys approved. It's like, here is extra money for this. So we are applying for $60,000 of BNP verification fund. The $60,000 will be split 50-50 with Northumberland and ourselves. And that is for the BNP verification.
Okay, and this is an example we talked about earlier, where we have staff going out looking for additional monies, and they come to us, and we go after those monies. So we want to thank the planning department for doing that. Billy, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Kristen, you on the line?
I am.
All right, 9.14 and 9.15, we'll deal with CDBG.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
For your approval is, the first action item is the amendment number 1 to subrecipient agreement with Franklin Township. That is for the competitive CDBG funds that they have for the Lairdsville project, that large sewer system installation in that community, and is a result of a request for an expend date extension from DCD. From DCD, yes.
Okay, we have a motion.
There's no cost increase in that either.
Great, that's good news.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the second one is, I'm not sure if it's still Resolution 2021-20, or if your previous items have moved that to 21. But DCED came out with a new resolution that amended the previous resolution that you approved back in September, I believe, to apply for the 2021 funds. So this item only attests that if any CDBG funds are found to have been used on ineligible or not meeting one of the national objectives, that you would need to repay a portion of it. This is essentially reiterating what we already do, so it's not new information, it's just a required language to attest to.
Okay. Kristen, the previous resolution that the Commissioner Marabito made the correction on was 19 of 2021, so this would state 20 of
This will state 20,
2021.
okay.
Okay, so it is right on the agenda. Okay, have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
9.16, Windstream Amendment.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Leslie.
I'm asking your approval today to renew a 5-year agreement with Windstream. We've been working on this contract for quite some time, and I just have to say how proud we are of everybody. With this contract, we started out at almost $7,000 a month, and we got them down to around 44. So we worked really hard, and it's been a lot of months. And we actually got them down from 3 cents a minute to 0.025 cents a minute. But we also, they allowed us to purchase some minutes ahead of time, which is going to be at 2 cents a minute. So we did a lot of number jockeying around, but it's going to work for us. The total is going to be $4,402.85 a month, and that's actually a 567 savings from today that we're paying.
What's that, 500 and?
$567.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. 560.
Yep, so we're going to be saving that a month versus, what we're paying today. This will cover all of our phone lines and circuits and actually internet coming into our buildings. Courthouse, district justices, RMS, Department of Public Safety.
It's amazing when you think, I mean, it's a lot of money, but when you think of the fact that it's covering all these phone lines and all the unlimited internet coming in, and then you think about what families pay, but thanks very much, Leslie, for working to crunch those numbers. I mean, just think about it. If you had just accepted the first offer.
I'm not very good at accepting first numbers.
And again, another example of county employees, negotiating, trying to get the best bang for the buck. We appreciate you working on behalf of the taxpayers, and you cut that down almost half. It's great.
Yeah. About $3,000 almost, not quite,
Thank you to everyone that's listed, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I just want to real quick just thank Maya for putting it in at the last minute. I know she left, but we're hinging on this to get Solomon's kind of moving, so she kind of pushed it through for the last minute, so I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, on the motion.
I'll move to approve.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 9.17. Commissioners, I'm going to be asking for your approval to either reappoint or appoint members to one authority and 3 boards. Starting off with the Lycoming County Housing Authority, 5-year term. Reappoint Nicoya Catino. The term starts on 1 January 2022 and ends 31 December 2026.
Okay, have a motion.
Do you want to take them individually?
Or you just want me to go through the whole?
Go through the whole thing, we'll take it as a slate as a whole.
On the Lycoming County Agricultural and Land Preservation Board, 4-year term, reappoint Donald Hepburn, reappoint John Schoen, and appoint Daryl Kreutzer. All of the terms start on 1 January 2022 and end on 31 December 2025. On the Lycoming County Planning Commission Board, 4-year term, reappoint Chase Couch and appoint Denise Reese. Both terms start on 1 January 2022 and end on 31 December 2025. And on the Lycoming County Zoning Hearing Board, 4-year term, reappoint Dan Clark. Term starts on 1 January 2022 and ends on 31 December 2025.
Okay. I'll move to approve the Housing Authority, the Agricultural Land, the Planning Commission, and the Zoning Hearing Board appointments read.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I want to thank each one of these members of our community for volunteering their services to serve on these boards. It's time consuming, and they definitely have an interest in making the county better. We just want to thank you for their time and dedication. We want to welcome the new appointments.
Commissioners, and if I may, I'd like to acknowledge Cindy Dawson for her work on organizing the tracking system for all of our board authority and commission appointments. I think it's a great tool, and it really has us able to identify all of the future requirements in a timely manner.
I'm glad you brought that up because it seems like a small thing, but it's a huge thing because
It's a big project.
It's a big project, and oftentimes these dates come and go. And Cindy has really done a lot of trying to innovate. She's also another one who's working alone up there because Ms. Ebner is no longer with us. So we thank Cindy for doing that.
Thank you, Cindy, for your time and putting this, organizing this, and making it a priority so that these boards are at capacity and they bring us the new applications and we have times to look at them and it's much more organized.
She's always thinking of ways, whether it's the note on our door that says you've got to sign a document, or when you walk in, there's a picture of each one of us, and the person who has to sign is there. So, but you know what? They're enjoyable. It makes us smile in the office. So, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Commissioner, comment?
Yeah, just to, for me, anyway. Sometimes I'll criticize our legislators for, not taking action on things, but that doesn't necessarily mean our local legislators, because I know they do try to pass legislation to help counties. It just sometimes goes on deaf ears. And they do, like Senator Yaw and Joe, Representative Ham and Whelan, you look at some of the RCAP monies that they're bringing back for our community, it's incredible, and that's not small money, to do great projects. And secondly, I'd like to thank Mr. Hutchinson for being a person that just said, okay, well, we'll let you go with a month-to-month lease up there in Solomon Building, because he could have tied us up for another year lease, and he did not. And unfortunately, certain things happen, especially with the supply chain, and I just want to tell you, thank you very much.
Thanks for being flexible and working with the county. And being a landlord for us all these years.
Yeah. Absolutely, I want to echo that, and I want to thank Senator Yaw and Governor Wolf.
Yes,
both of them working
absolutely.
together to bring these RCAPs back to the county.
Huge money.
Huge money and very important to our constituents. And I think that was very nice of you to recognize Mr. Hutchinson. It was true. Could have asked for a 2-year lease or something.
Anything else, Commissioner? You, Commissioner? I just I got a text last night from a friend down in Texas, and I want to share this with the public. There's an article in Golf Magazine, and under travel, and it says there's a radical different story bouncing around municipal golf courses. And in this article, it talks about Lycoming County. And it says last week, the company that manages White Deer Golf Course in Pennsylvania cut a check for $25,000 and delivered it to the Lycoming County Commissioners meeting. The Williamsport municipality had reached a self-sustaining level of operations, and we're now giving back to the county. Surplus profit, what a thought. And it was neat to see this, and he wanted to share it with me, that he read this in a national magazine that goes out, what they're doing with municipal golf courses across the country. And it's a very interesting article dated December 13th of 2021. And it was just great to hear that they felt that was a good use, and for them to now give back to the community is a win-win. So,
Is it Golf Magazine?
Golf Magazine, you know, article by Sean Zach. And I want to thank him for sharing this with our, he sent this to me from Texas. He had read it in the magazine and thought, hey, I know these guys. And he wanted to share it with us, and I appreciate it. And as we move forward into next year, you know, we wish continued success over at White Deer. And you know, it's an agency that's worked with us, or it's a business that's worked with us, partners. And the key is to make sure they're self-sustaining and that we don't have to use any taxpayers' money in the future. And so far, that's happening. Okay.
Public comment?
Yes.
I do have some.
Yes.
Thomas Adams. December 18th is the day of the public prayer meeting beginning 10 a.m. to noon. Come in and leave as you are able. It's being held at the Savoy Plaza in a meeting room next to Pudgy's. This is for the purpose of turning our hearts, minds, and souls back to the direction of God, as our founders understood to be necessary for liberty, justice, and peace to thrive. We must, as a society, in all humility and repentance of personal, community, and national sin, seek His wisdom, direction, mercies, and grace to take a stand against the tyrannical efforts of ideologues steeped in selfishness, misinformation, by ignorance or manipulation, and the use of coercion to control and destroy freedom, truth, and happiness of our citizens as individuals and our society as a whole. This is also for the purpose to bring people together, to encourage their pastors and churches to get involved with truth and righteousness in the public square as our founders practiced, following the examples of Jesus. This is from Jeff Will Try. Well, I'm not sure we could have while I am sure we could have a rousing discussion on the values Jesus espoused and this is directed at Thomas Adams. I do not think this comments section would be the best place. Let's do our part to keep it free. Thomas Adams, the prophets and the apostles as recorded in the Bible, we cannot have these things. Our fathers fought, suffered, and died for without God's people taking a stand against evil in all humility. May divine providence grant us the wisdom, meekness, and courage to do what is right in accordance to our state and federal constitutions, in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence and its preamble. Thank you, Tom Adams. And I have some comments from Chad Riley. I also am I am sad to see the carbon nutrient credit program go away. That benefited, incentivized a lot of farmers who are doing their part to help keep the environment clean. I also am happy that the county is purchasing a no-till drill and is helping the local farmers be able to use this piece of equipment to help the environment at a discounted rental rate. However, I feel sad for the farmers who have already spent a significant amount of money to purchase this piece of equipment and aren't able to reap the benefits of this new piece of equipment. Especially those farmers who were doing their part with the carbon nutrient credits and also already had no-till drills and are now losing their benefits in both. Maybe consider giving the farmers who already have used no-till drills, who spent the money on equipment, don't benefit from this new piece of equipment, and also lost out on carbon nutrient credits and have been doing their part to help the environment. The tax break of so many dollars an acre for using their own equipment. Just my thoughts. Thanks. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment from the audience? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned to next Tuesday, December 21st at 10 a.m. Right here in this room. Thank you, everybody have a great week.
Geez, I didn't realize it was just now the two of us. I thought I better stay to the end in case somebody has a question about the budget.
Not at all.
Then there's back, I guess,
Yeah, that keeps them at
I
bay.
saw Al Boyer was here, but he left.
Was that Al?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't see who, I saw
Normally
someone
he
leave,
makes
but I couldn't.
comments on the budget.
Yeah, he,
I wonder if he drove over here.
yeah, I tried to text him as he was leaving.
Uh-huh.
Said, Al, where you going? I mean, if he needed anything, we'd slide him up.
Slid them up and have a speech.
Yeah. In fact, you missed me there, I don't know if you saw it.
I did, I responded.
Didn't get a response. I said, are you okay? I didn't get anything back from him. Did you send something back?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like my thing doesn't work.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I have nothing.
Hey, Pat, what's up?
How you doing?
I just wondered when you might have a statement. about-
We're gonna speak to our solicitor and then we'll issue a joint statement.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure you get it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thanks for.
Thank you for following up.
Yeah, following up.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.